So I'd like to explain to you what you're going to get when you order your sample colors. So if you order just your sample colors, you're going to get 5 different intensities in your sample kit. If you order this, I also highly recommend that you get your complete kit, because it'll give you all the accessories you'll need that will make applying your colors very easy. In this kit, you'll receive a remover, which will make removing the inks off your skin much easier. And you'll have a thinner, which is very essential when applying the colors. You'll get an empty mixing well, and I'll show you how to use that in a bit. You'll get your isolating gel, and you'll basically use this to cover any areas you don't want the ink to come to. And you'll get a variety of sponges and also mixing wells. And I'll show you how to use those in a second. So before you apply your inks, we actually highly recommend that you use any kind of exfoliant, and basically just going to remove the dead skin cells from the area that you're going to be working on. When it removes the dead skin cells, it'll actually allow a smoother layer of color, and the inks will last a lot longer. So you can usually do this in the morning when you take your shower before you even apply the inks. Make sure you're not using any kind of lotion or moisturizer on your skin before you apply the inks, because it will tend to lessen the length and the duration of the inks that are on. Before you apply the inks, I would recommend using some of the thinner on the skin that you're going to be placing it on, just to remove any residual oils or moisturizers that may interfere with the ink holding onto the skin. Now in your sample kit, you're going to get 5 different colors, and they become darker with each color that there is. Each color has the number identified on the bottom so that you can recognize which one you're using at the time. Now, this is how I would go about using these colors. In your mixing well, you'll want to apply the lightest color, or the one you think that's closest to your skin tone. It's best to start with the one that you think is similar or even slightly lighter. I like using this sponge just because it's very smooth and soft, and the porosities give a really nice result when you're using it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to place your thinner in your mixing well, and you'll want to apply your sponge into your thinner and just squeeze out all the excess. If you don't do this, what will happen is the sponge will soak up all the ink and you won't get it to lay any color onto the skin. Next, take the color, like we said, you think is closest to your skin tone. When you receive these, you might see that the colors have separated. It's not a big deal. All you have to do is you have to mix it really, really well just to make sure the colors come together nicely. Now, if you're going to use a big amount, you can place it in your mixing well. And if you're going to use a small amount just to test, I would say just placing it onto the sponge. And you can go ahead and dab it onto your skin. If it's too thin, just wait for it to dry a little bit and add another layer. So see, now that's dried. And that's pretty close to my skin color. But let's say I do need to adjust it. So in my mixing well, what I would do is I would count the number of dots I use. So this is number 2. I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of number 2. And let me just lighten it a little bit and say I have 2 dots of numbers. And you'll go ahead and mix it either with a mixing tool or even the sponge head. And you can go ahead and apply it on the area that you want to cover. And just wait for it to dry. And again, you can mix and match any of these colors together to find the best combination that you think works with your skin tone. Now, what I would recommend for the future is, let's say you only use these 2 colors, which is the PD and the number 2. When you go to our website or you email us, you can just say, I want the larger size of this color and the larger size of this color. They come in 30 milli and 60 milli. Or you can even give us the combination that you usually mix together. So you can say, I mix 2 drops of number 2 and I mix 5 drops of number PD. And what we'll do is we'll pre-mix it for you and give it to you all in one bottle. So in the future, all you have to do is just pour it and use it directly. Now, I just wanted to show you that this is actually smudge proof, even on the whitest of cloths, multiple times. It doesn't come, and even on water. So I'll just dip this cloth in water here. And you can see it stays on there pretty well, okay? Now, if you feel that the color is too light, you can add another layer, or you can just go up a color or add a few drops of the darker one. Be careful you don't make your layers too thick, otherwise it'll dry and start flaking off. The other thing is if it's too dark, you can just go ahead with your sponge, dip it in some thinner, and you can go over it and it'll make it a little bit lighter in color. And that's how we'd recommend using your sample kit.